Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about something hardcore today. There's an article that came out in the Netherlands talking about euthanasia. And this article came about 30 days ago, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I've actually got some scriptures at the end here that are going to kind of back this up and tie everything together. So this shouldn't be too long, but we're going to talk about what the value of human life is. We're going to talk about subjective versus objective morality. Subjective coming from humans, and objective morality coming from God, that it's already been instilled in us. And I'm going to throw some scriptures in here that we definitely were ingrained and born that we know what right and wrong is. So check out this article. This came out about a month ago. And this is the title. It says, Dutch doctors allowed to euthanize without warning. And if you know about the Netherlands, they actually have some of the most lax laws when it comes to euthanasia. And you can basically just walk in and be like, hey, I want to be euthanized. They're like, okay. And they just, stick a shot in you and you're gone. And you'll see that over time, we've been conditioned that humans are destroying the earth. Humans are doing this. So we were being conditioned that, being killed or murdered is just like a natural everyday thing. And this is just going to keep getting worse. So, so here it is. Dutch doctors allowed to euthanize without warning. In the Netherlands, doctors are now allowed to introduce a sedative without the knowledge of their patients and without their consent before euthanizing them if there is a risk that the patient will become agitated at the moment of carrying out the action that should end his or her life. Is the mask of gentle euthanization allowing you to end your days with dignity finally falling? In the Netherlands, this may be the case, as The Guardian shows in its November 20th, 2020 edition. In Tulip County, in fact, the protocol for patients with dementia or a similar condition has just been significantly changed. From now on, it is no longer necessary for the doctors to agree with the patient when or how euthanasia will be administered. See, and again, this is an example where you give someone an inch and they're going to take it a mile. So this is just going to keep getting worse. And you'll see it, this person that they're talking about was getting ready to be euthanized, and the person said, no, don't do this. And they went ahead and did it anyway. So this is just going to keep getting worse. You're going to see cases like this increasing, and who knows, maybe it'll start spreading to other countries. But I just thought this is just super hardcore. In other words, we are heading towards a summary, legal, and formal execution. This is an astonishing decision following a judgment of the Supreme Court of the Netherlands last April, which decided to clear all suspicion of a doctor who had sedated his patient in order to eliminate her without her knowledge. The facts date back to 2016. The practitioner named Marineu Arends, if I had that pronunciation wrong, sorry, was convicted of murder after euthanizing a patient with advanced Alzheimer's disease. So this is the practitioner. This is the guy that go ahead and administered euthanizing this patient, and the patient's like, no, don't do this. Could you imagine you're just like a relative of someone like this in the Netherlands, and you go in and feel like, oh yeah, we just euthanize your grandma or your mom or something, and you had no say and neither did the person. They can just flip a switch, be like, you're gone out of here. The latter reportedly initially indicated that she wished to be euthanized in case she was transferred to a retirement home. The patient later retracted, indicating on several occasions that she no longer wanted euthanasia performed on her. Notwithstanding this about-face, Marineu Arends quite simply ended the days of his patient without her knowing, after giving her a sedative mixed in her coffee. So it wasn't even a shot. They just throw something in your coffee and you're gone. Here's where we tip over into horror. The sedative did not have a desired effect, and the poor woman tried to pull her arm away from the fatal needle, and it was with the muscular help of the patient's son-in-law that the doctor was able to carry out the killing. That's another thing too. Maybe there's some type of life insurance policy, or maybe there's money involved here, and the son-in-law is, hey, just go ahead and do this. And maybe this guy got something in return for doing this. In a far-reaching judgment for which its members will have to answer before history, the Supreme Court overturned the murder conviction and cleared Arends. So because of this conviction, the guy is set free, like, oh, no problem, you can just keep doing this, people. Jacob Koonstam, president of the Dutch Euthanasia Review Commission, welcomed the new protocol put in place in November 2020. At least doctors will have far less fear from justice, that of men perhaps, but the infallible justice of the Creator. See, that's what it says it right here. This is where it comes from. It tells you very specifically in the Old Testament, Exodus, one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill. See, we've been conditioned going through these abortions. Look at the abortion rate. We're going to go through this. Just babies being slaughtered, and then video games. I know I'm guilty. I played some video games in my lifetime, and there's this constant emphasis of people just dying around us. And then here it is with euthanasia as well. So you have abortions and movies and all these things we're accustomed to, and we just see all the time. And now euthanasia is starting to get infected for the older population. Genesis 1:27, this is what it comes back from. This is where the morals come from. It says, so God created man in his own image. In his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. See, God created humans separate from animals. Humans are not animals. That's what evolutionists teach, is that we're just a creature, survival of the fittest, and just lived and roamed over millions of years. No, God specifically tells us that he created us with a purpose. We have morals. This is where morals started, is when God created male and female. So if God created humans in his own image, then God is the legislator of morality, right? God decides what is right and wrong the same way the government says what is legal and what is illegal. This is a set of rules. This is objective morality, that it comes from God. Here's the moral argument. If God does not exist, objective moral values and duties do not exist. Right. Who would determine what is right or wrong? This is one thing that evolutionists can't answer, is where do morals come from? Objective moral values and duties do exist. That's a fact. Therefore, God exists. So morals had to come from somewhere. So let's look at this. Let's look at the Holocaust. Adolf Hitler, he killed 6 million Jews. He talked the SS into dehumanizing the Jews. So the SS was the group of people, and they didn't see Jews as humans. They saw them as an inferior population, humanizing them. And so the Nazis didn't see them as humans. So they just went in and just slaughtered 6 million Jews. And you'll see there's a whole bunch of people here where this happens, that they see certain sections of people as inferior beings. Look at Pol Pot. He exterminated 2 to 3 million Cambodians. Under Pol Pot, the state controlled all aspects of a person's life. Listen to this. This actually sounds like, if you've been paying attention to politics, there's a lot of censorship and hardcore things going on right now. Pol Pot controlled all aspects of a person's life. Money, private property, jewelry, gambling, most reading material, and religion were outlawed. Agriculture was collectivized. Children were taken from their homes and forced into the military, and strict rules governing sexual relations, vocabulary, and clothing were laid down. And China actually supported this movement. Look at the Young Turks. They carried out the Armenian genocide that exterminated 1 to 2 million Christians. And what's interesting, there's a channel out there, and they deny this. There's a big channel called the Young Turks. And this is where this comes from. So you have all this censorship that's happening with YouTube and Twitter and all these social platforms. And whenever a Christian decides to speak out about something, a lot of them, they get banned and taken off completely. You've just seen a massive purge. But you have this group called the Young Turks. I think they have over 5 million subscribers. And the Young Turks were the ones who carried out the Armenian genocide and killed 1 to 2 million Christians. So it's just amazing to me, the bias that you see. It's completely insane. And look, this is probably the biggest form of genocide is abortion. I think this number was just for the United States. Look at this link here that I provided. But there's been think about this number. 56 million abortions just in the United States since 1973. This is subjective morality. One baby is aborted every 26 seconds, 137 every hour, 3,304 every day, 23,196 every week, 100,516 every month, 1,206,192 every year in the United States alone. These are human beings with arms. They feel pain. They have a heart. Go read about each week or each month how the fetus is developed, and it's amazing that these processes are consistently delivered every month, every single day. See, we've been conditioned all our lives that it's okay to do things like this. So when you see euthanasia pop up, no problem, no big deal. So this is where objective morality comes in. Let's look at Romans 2:14, and then we're going to wrap up soon. For when the Gentiles are basically every time you see the word Gentiles, it's everyone but the Jews. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. Listen to this, super important. Which show the work of the law written in their hearts. See, God, when he created humans, he wrote the law in our hearts. We know right from wrong. Adolf Hitler, Pol Pot, all these guys, they knew they were wrong. Satan had a hold of them. And, every knee is going to bow and every tongue is going to confess. Whether you're a Christian or not, you're going to stand before God one day and he's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. So I'm just here trying to warn you what's going on. And all these people are going to be accountable to their Creator one day, which show the work of the law written in their hearts. God, as soon as he created us, he put the law in our hearts. We know when we're right and wrong. We might try to negate it or not think about it anymore or try to drive it away, but it's still in the back of our minds. When we're doing something wrong, we know. Their conscience also bearing witness, and see here, it is right here. Their conscience also bearing witness in their thoughts, the mean while accusing or else excusing one another. I really like this scripture, Matthew 10:29. This just shows you how important humans are. And not two sparrows sold for a farthing. Farthing is just money. And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. This is what makes you special. God specifically says that you have worth and value. And he knows all the hairs on your head. He knows everything about you the moment he created you. He knew you before you were even in the womb. For ye not therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows. And I just thought this was interesting. I was curious to see how many hairs are on a person's head. It says 100,000 hairs. So this puts it in perspective. God knows every single hair on your head. 1 Peter 1:18. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things as silver and gold from your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Christ, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot. See, God loved us so much, he sent his Son down to die for us, and his blood cleanses us so we can be with him in heaven. And if you're not a Christian, here it is, Romans 10:9 and 10. That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. It's real simple. If you're not a Christian, you just say, hey, Jesus, I want you to come into my life. I believe that I'm a sinner. You died for my sins. I want you to come into my life. I believe that you died on the cross. You rose again 3 days later. I believe in the crucifixion and resurrection. And then go get a King James Bible, start with the New Testament, and start with the book of John. And that goes through that whole scenario that I just discussed on how to do that. So that's it. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe and share button. Those are the two best things that you can do to help this channel grow is just share it and subscribe. The two top things you can do to support this. And then we have new videos that are released every Monday and Thursday. And we'll see you next time.